Hello, thank you for joining for the F&B talk show by the Restaurant Times. I'm Peggy Lee, managing partner of SPS Affinity Consultancy. So we look after everything service-centric industry per se. Now, personally, I've had worked 18 years of Michelin-star fine dining experience across UK and Far East, and have had the pleasure to work with some of the great chefs like Joao Robuchon, Abdul Kutcher, and Gordon Ramsay. It's such a great pleasure that I've been invited as a guest host to the F&B Talk. So the F&B Talk shows is about a knowledge sharing series that brings together people who seek a deeper understanding of the world of what is restaurant, what is F&B. And we aim to create a knowledge base on the finer of building and growing and maturing the restaurant industry to meet the palates and to exceed customer expectation to come. So I have such an honor and such a pleasure to introduce you this new breath of fresh air in my life from lovely Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Saad Aldrees, CEO of Foodscape's company. Now, I've had a little bit of an understanding of Saad with the great understanding of the very cute video that you've done on Tokyo. Well done. I've had so much fun of watching that. So he's the founding partner and CEO of Foodscape. It's a Saudi homegrown restaurant group established back in 2012 with its award-winning Japanese cuisine concepts such as Tokyo, IRORI, and KIMONO. So Saad is one of the forward-thinking visionary, as I would put it, of the restaurant industry, showcasing the transformation in the kingdom's new vision. So welcome, Saad. Thank you so much to be on the show.
It's a pleasure indeed. I'm honored to be asked to appear with you on this talk, honestly, and hope that we can be of help to anyone who's gonna watch or listen to this interview.
Fantastic. So, very interesting profile that I've had seen of your progression within your LinkedIn. What a transformation. Please take us through the early days of, what got you to want to start Foodgate, and where does this whole idea come about to start with?
Well, the main reason is my love to Tokyo restaurant. Since we were kids, our father used to take us there to the old restaurant. It was just across our first renovated branch nowadays. It was like a small diner that maybe if you're living nearby, you wouldn't know that there is a Japanese restaurant in there. And I remember one day I told my father that one day this business is gonna be ours. And here we are.
Fantastic. But in the terms of from your passion of acquiring Tokyo to then, coming up with the other two concepts like kimono, irori, how did those other two come about? And what was it that caught your eye to grow more concepts with the Japanese cuisine rather than having other playful ideas with other cuisine?
We started with Tokyo, and when I first managed this business, I had zero understanding of how is it like to manage F&B or manage restaurants. I thought it's easy, but when I first started, it's the way opposite, and I'm sure everybody who worked in F&B will agree on this. So it took me like you're talking about just 3 and 4 years just to grow my basic understanding of how to run one restaurant. I was comfortable with Japanese cuisine, so why not capitalizing on this instead of like tapping into other cuisines early, where I still don't have the complete team around me who can support this expansion. Capitalizing on this made it an easier journey to having additional brands in Japanese cuisine, but targeting different segments. And this is the main reason why we have now Kimono and we have Irori on top of Tokyo.
Interesting. So, just want to take you slightly back to your previous life before restaurants. I mean, what a transformation from banking, oil and gas, looking after over 600 units of gas station in Saudi,
Yeah.
to food and beverage. What is the biggest difference other than you saying that restaurant is tough? Okay, we all know that, but how, I mean, that transition must have taken you quite some time. I mean, what is your giveaway in telling us how different it is from that transformation to the other transformation?
Well, being a banker or in the oil and gas business, despite if it's has high pressure, also it's a 9 to 5 job. Once you're out of the office, that's it. You shut down. You spend time with family. That's it. But you know this. But in the restaurant business, it's almost like 24 hours job. It's endless.
True.
You need to be on your emails, on your WhatsApp, on your phone. You don't know what's gonna happen.
True. That is very, very true. It's quite mesmerizing to hear it from other people to say, yes, we have people who are truly passionate because they know the pain, the suffer, the tears, and the joy of running the restaurant industry. And the other thing is, as I said, congratulations. I mean, many, many congratulations to you and your team,
Yeah.
in completing 35 years at the Tokyo restaurant. I mean, this is tremendous and very well
36
done to you.
now.
Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
36. And as you said, the door opened since 1985 till now. I mean, the amount of transition. How do you? I mean, it's such a staple becoming because, as you said, people know if they are passionate about Japanese cuisine, they would know Tokyo,
Yeah.
and it gives people that sense of, yes, I'm eating authentic Japanese food in a surrounding that I'm comfortable, and it's like my home, home little hidden gem or hidden treasure places. So now tell us, how is it that you manage to keep that fan base or like the cult following of the Japanese cuisine um, of Tokyo? How do you retain them? How do you then grow from them? And how do you see, the passion or the palates of the kingdom that is, liking this type of cuisine?
Okay. Many factors are here to explain this.
Definitely.
Since the establishment of Tokyo in 1985, there is no credit for us in this. The founder, Chef Hagimo Nishimura, he's the one who started this business in 1985. Imagine like a Japanese chef coming to Saudi Arabia, to the middle of the desert in 1985 and open an authentic Japanese restaurant. What are the risks involved?
Many.
Yeah,
Getting the procurement, I already think is going to be a challenge.
you know what he used to do? He
What do
used
you
to
say?
travel to Japan and hand carry some products with him, maybe once a month or so, just to procure some products that were impossible to find here.
It's almost like when I was like little in Hong Kong, studying in UK boarding school, literally hurling everything I want to eat in the suitcase and bring it back to UK with me to the school.
Same concept.
Us Asians, we can't live without our food,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. So I don't know because I myself was born in '85. So I'm not sure really how did he manage it, but I can speak uh, like starting mid of the 90s when I started going there. Yes, it wasn't famous, and the general idea was that Asian food is raw food only, and the idea of eating raw food wasn't really popular among the local community. But when the country started opening up, yeah, year by year, people started traveling more. you can notice that even without any marketing or anything, that the number of customers is increasing, either expats or locals. When we're talking about the last 5 or 6 years, yeah, they became a lot. Why? Because the country opened up, people traveled more, and they now have a general understanding of what is modern Japanese cuisine. Because I don't think authentic cuisines exist anymore. Speaking of myself, now it's in the modern and fusion cuisines are the trend everywhere where you go. So yeah, these are the main factors why the, let's call, the fans of Japanese cuisines are more inside the kingdom.
But do you see, I mean, obviously, as you said, Asian food or Japanese food per se to the kingdom's palate at the beginning was like, okay, I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
now, as time goes with the fans, what is the demographic? Do you see more ladies coming in? Because obviously the ladies think that, Asian food is, less fatty, more healthy. Or do you see a good mix between the genders? How is the take on the cuisine from that spectrum?
It's a little bit different. Uh, Tokyo, we receive everybody because it's a heritage. Some people grew with Tokyo. So we have families, we have ladies, we have businessmen, you name it. When you speak about kimono, for example, it's more targeting millennials,
Mhm.
uh, teenagers. Honestly, I would say 50-50 between ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
When you speak about IRORI, yes, it's more into females or ladies.
Fantastic. So now, as per what you said, going back to saying the chef who established Cotil on his challenge in getting the procurement and getting the food.
Yeah.
Now, what are the biggest key challenges that you have setting up, such as a specialist restaurant focusing on ingredients that are not native or easily sourced in Saudi? How and because of that, and obviously having the pandemic, and before that with some of the natural disaster happened in Japan, which I'm sure you have to procure directly from Japan. How did the pandemic challenge your supply chain? Is there still challenges, and how are you managing all this unfortunately force majeure that has forced upon to your business and everyone else?
There is a challenge everywhere. It's a worldwide problem. Uh, but when we speak in general now about the availability of these specialty products, it's easier now than before because the number of businesses is more. This led to having more suppliers who want to serve those customers, and the margin for them is higher because not not many suppliers will just go and procure something from Japan and they're not sure if they're gonna sell it or not. On top of that, yeah, we have our internal team. They're doing fantastic job. Honestly, they have partnerships with many suppliers around the world. Those suppliers, all, or I would call them partners, are supporting us as much as they can, and to make sure that we don't run out of major products that we rely on to in our business. It's something temporary. We all hope that by the second half of next year, uh, we're gonna laugh at these days.
But does it mean that now it puts a pressure onto you because obviously, as you know, the timing of the logistic takes longer, so therefore the price of the produce is higher. Does it then squeeze you so much to the extent that you're like,
It does, it does. But this is the best solution we have. I
mm,
mean, it's either you go for it or you shut down.
true, very very true.
Yeah.
So, with all the exciting changes in KSA, from the Vision 2030, the government huge effort to really push on their vision and growing the tourism of Saudi. And some of the videos that I've seen, stunning,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. What is your take on these changes? I mean, how will they impact or benefit the business? And from your personal opinion, being one of the visionary restaurateur in the kingdom, how do you see that would help to grow and evolve the Saudi restaurant industry as a whole?
Massively. When we open the country and we try to target tourists from around the world to come and see and explore our country, see and explore our homegrown restaurants, as well as encouraging international brands to come and open their branches in here. Because I know personally some brands who they said it's impossible for us to open in Saudi Arabia, and now their branches are under construction. I don't want to mention names, but this is how strong the Saudi market is. It's the strongest F&B market in the Middle East, and soon I'm quite sure that very soon, especially Riyadh is gonna be the culinary capital of the region.
Actually, that was the question that I'm very curious. What is the difference of the culinary scene between Riyadh and Jeddah? Because it's always been kind of like a lot of people when they are attempting or even considering to come to the kingdom, they've always been tossing the coin, Riyadh, Jeddah, Jeddah, Riyadh. So what is the fundamental difference, I mean, between the two areas?
Riyadh is the capital city, and the number of residents is just double the size of Jeddah. So business size is double, purchasing power is more.
And then obviously Madinat is a complete different because it's next to Mecca. That's where the religious tourism, as I refer it, which has a different flow, I presume.
I believe that there are small exceptions, but most of the countries, the capital will always have the highest purchasing power. The size of Riyadh is massive. It's like bigger than some countries. Employment opportunities, I think, concentrated in Riyadh now. It's difficult to find jobs in Jeddah or in the eastern province or up in the north and in the south. But in Riyadh, yeah, you can find many opportunities because the expansion is faster and the demand is much higher.
Great. So the next thing, another congratulations to you. And I went on to the Foodgate LinkedIn. I mean, very, very commendable on your CSR effort, especially the partnership with the Female Higher Institute of Tourism and Hospitality. I mean, well done. I mean, this is the first of its kind in Saudi Arabia. How did it court your? I mean, how did this whole thing come about? I'm mesmerized to want to know because I mean, first of all, the Saudi ladies who are only recently started to be able to gain the right to start to drive, and from there we've seen things propel on. So I mean, this type of college is very admirable already as it is, and of your participation in working along with them, this is something, as I said, is a very, very commendable. So what was the vision that you see how this would evolve, and of course, how do you see this whole woman empowerment? But let's start with the first bit: is how did this whole thing come about? I'm super intrigued.
Well, it was a suggestion from my HR director. He brought this that there is this institute who provide training for Saudi ladies, and there is an initiative from the Saudi HR Development Fund where they support even their salaries by 30%. So it's like we pay 70% and they pay 30% for the whole program period. After that, whomever successfully graduates can join your institution and work there. supporting females. We all see the higher percentage of female workers nowadays, and many of them are showing an interest to work in the restaurant industry,
Hmm.
which is fantastic because visas are not easy as before. Now we have higher costs on bringing any expat on a visa. You need to pay 2,000 plus dollars per year only as fees to to the government per one employee. And you never know. Maybe one of these ladies will get a Michelin star soon. You never know.
No, no, no. It's very interesting because obviously, it has just been announced the world top 50 restaurants. So they will on the
Yes,
coming year they will start a new edition
yes.
um, on doing a special one for the Middle East region. So I think everyone is up for grabs to be on the list for sure.
Indeed,
Like,
it's our responsibility, and I would encourage all my fellow colleagues to do the same. I mean, it's part of our
mm,
responsibility, even if the cost
mm.
is a little bit higher. But it's part of giving back and supporting our community.
So with this initiative, how much time or resources, does Foodgate have to dedicate to, training the right people uh, that works along with you? How much learning and development do you work with this initiative, as well as, what do you guys do with your own business?
We have a learning and development manager. She's doing a fantastic job while their studies in the institute. She does weekly visits to them, checking up on them if they're happy, if they're having any problems. If so, she solve it right away with the institute.
I presume this is the first batch of the ladies you're working with, or you already have some graduate that has
Yeah.
now fully been a staple member of the food gate, or not yet?
We're, we're looking forward to their graduation. I think November or December. Actually, we have two agreements. We have one for females and we have one for males as well.
Oh,
Whom are all under training. Yeah, we have 18 females and we have 40 males.
so now you are starting almost like a food gate college to help you in the pipeline to find your new employees and not needing to go and look elsewhere. Well done.
Kind of,
Well done.
kind of.
Well done. So as you said, back to what you were saying, you said as now there are more females seeing a future within the restaurant industry. Now, how do you see that this mentality will evolve and elevate the woman empowerment overall in the kingdom?
It's part of it, surely part of it. When you see the way how Saudi women changed their way of thinking, before they were saying maybe I just want a job, but now the entrepreneurial way of thinking is more. They want to learn, even if for a short period. Then they want to start their own business, which is good for the economy, which is good for
Mm,
competition.
mm.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Mabruk. So, after now finding yourself a new way of sourcing your human resources, what's next? I mean, what is in the pipeline for Foodgate in the coming up 2022? And then, because it's so exciting, Saudi got the F1 coming up. I'm seeing a lot of, and the Saudi Cup. I'm hearing news about you guys are having a new set of esports series going to be happening, the gaming world. Oh my God, every day I see something like flashlight. And it's not
Yeah,
only in English, it's not only in Arabic. I see the news from the Chinese side, from the Chinese government working with the Saudi. So much, it's just too much for me to just to grasp. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
so how are all these exciting stuff bring all the new people in? How is that growing Foodgate? And what is Foodgate going to do to capture these new audience?
It's a surprise.
Voila!
No, no. Honestly speaking, we've been working on some different brands. We're tapping into Mediterranean cuisine. We're tapping into Indian cuisine, as well as burger joints and pastry shops.
But are you
These are
thinking of doing maybe like a cloud kitchen concept of sushi in Tokyo, or maybe doing your own like food gate cloud kitchen with multiple brands, and then everyone can just order from one kitchen and they get everything?
we are testing this idea, by the way. We signed with the Kitchen Park to test how if the cloud kitchen concept would work for us, because we know that our product now, which is a bit sensitive. Uh, so we need to test it first. That's why we signed with Kitchen Park, and we're gonna assess. Maybe we'll give it 3 or 6 months. If it's feasible, we're gonna build our own cloud kitchen where we operate all our brands from.
Fantastic. And I think that it would work great. I mean, as you said, and Riyadh has such a high population and with such a good demographic. And you know, I think after the pandemic, this whole cloud kitchen idea is to stay. So making your product more accessible makes perfect sense.
True.
So you being a trendsetter or inheriting a unknown trend from the Far East to the kingdom. And I have to say, beautiful decoration and beautiful interior. You know, it really sets the tone of a nice, I would say, you know, fine dining setting with a family feeling restaurant. So, I mean, well done to you guys. Anything in terms of what is your message to our fellow peers and colleagues in the industry, or any um, future restaurateur aspiring to open their restaurant? You know, what is your message to them? I think first of all is to your fellow industry colleagues who are thinking to enter into the kingdom. What are your advice?
If their concepts work in wherever it is, they shouldn't hesitate in opening in Saudi Arabia. You need to come and visit. Come personally, visit, have a look, and uh, you're gonna see yourself the high demand. It's unbelievable.
And then your wise words of wisdom to the young audience who are aspiring to enter into the restaurant industry. What would be your word of advice?
Try working in a company before starting your business. I didn't have this opportunity, unfortunately, because back then there wasn't many companies that match my way of thinking. But now there are many. Now there are many because the number of businesses is more. So apply, try to work even for 1 year, and then I'm sure it's you're gonna form a better understanding of how to start this business and have more, let's say, expanding your network. It's going to give you an opportunity to expand your network because you need a network within this business. And doing this will facilitate many things for you to start the business.
So I presume food gates are offering that trainee opportunity. Then your learning development lady will be very busy lady then.
Yeah, yeah, it will be a pleasure.
Fantastic. Sad, thank you so much today to given a glimpse of your busy schedule to me to interview you. And I will say to the audience, thank you so much for listening in. Please, as what Sad said, go to visit the kingdom and see it with your own real eyes so that you would understand it's not just only a myth, and it's not only a gold rush dreams that people think the boom of the KSA restaurant industry is more of that there are real hardworking people behind who give a lot of heart, who give a lot of soul and a lot of attention to grow this business, and the restaurant scene is there to stay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peggy, for your time. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.